going on, people? It's your boy Killah. Y'all here for episode 29 of my vlogging series. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming out each and every week. And on this day, first and foremost, I want to just give out a very special condolence and dedication to all the families that lost ones and everybody that lost their lives on the tragedies 8 years ago on 9/11. I know I talked a lot about 9/11 last week, but don't think for 1 minute that I'm some way so jaded and so conspiracy theoried out my mindset that I'll talk about these things because I care so much and I thirst so much for the truth. That's why I talk about these things. I don't mean to disrespect anybody. I don't mean to scare anybody, but it's true, and I care about people. I really do care about people. I'm kind of a humanitarian. With that, I want to give a big shout out to Jay-Z, man. The Blueprint 3 is off the hook, by the way. He did a big benefit concert for those who lost their lives on 9/11. It was sold out. All the proceeds went to that charity for the widows and children. It was phenomenal, man. If you didn't check that show out on Fuse, or if you wasn't there, then you need to check it out, man, because it was phenomenal. He's a phenomenal artist. Hip hop is just a phenomenal art form altogether. With that, I'm gonna go straight in. I'm not gonna waste any more time. The thing I want to talk to y'all about today is Hurricane Katrina. Now, I watched the Lil Wayne thing about a couple of days ago, as far as him on VH1 or whatever, and I was so inspired to speak to y'all about what happened to Hurricane Katrina. Let me just hold no punches and go straight out and tell you just like this. The federal government blew up that levee to flood out the 9th Ward in New Orleans, Louisiana, August 29th, 2005. They blew that levee up. You understand? Now, I know a lot of y'all saying, what? Kyle, you crazy. Let me break it down to you. First, let me start like this. In 1927 and in 1965 especially with Hurricane Betsy, there was a hurricane and there was a flood. And in order to take out the water and save the French quarters, they flooded the 9th Ward. They blew up the levee. This is true. You can look this up. In 1965, they blew up the levee to save the French quarters. It's also called it's called like racial cleansing, ethnic cleansing. It was also a way. It was a twofold thing. It was also a way for them to get the black people out of New Orleans. They don't want them there anyway. So they did that in 1965. That's known. Let's fast forward to 2005. Okay? All right. So Bush knows about it. FEMA encourages the whole Bush administration about what's going to happen. This is a Cat 5 hurricane, Hurricane Katrina. This is coming. They know about it. The precautions are there. People at the local level know, the state level, and the federal government are all talking about the catastrophic things that can happen with this Cat 5 Katrina hurricane. Okay, boom. So it's known. Okay. They tell some people to evacuate. Some people they didn't evacuate. That's neither here nor there. I would have probably evacuated, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to speak about that. The hurricane comes. The rain comes. There are plenty. If you look it up, there are thousands of people that lived right in the 9th Ward that will tell you that they saw helicopters drop bombs on those levees. They blew up those levees to flood out the 9th Ward. They don't want those people there. They want to rebuild the city. If you notice, look around in the whole United States. Every large major city in the United States is doing a whole big gentrification type of thing. Even right here in New Brunswick, there's a lot of gentrification going on. They want the poor people out so they can move the money back in. It's going on all over. Look at Manhattan, look at New Brunswick, look at New Orleans, look at Los Angeles. It's a big gentrification scheme going on right now. They want these poor people out. Now I'm not saying that they can't make hurricanes and they can't make natural disasters. And yes, I know Hurricane Katrina was a natural disaster, and a big part of that was because of the hurricane. I'm not naive, and I'm not that big of a conspiracist that I don't know that. But they dropped those bombs on those levees to flood out those people. And then you know how you know it's true? You know how you know it's true? Because look what happened afterwards. No support. from the federal level. Barely no support from the state level. And the local level, people are scrounging around to do whatever they can to get these people relocated to different places and higher ground. And you know what they did have? They had National Guard, Army, and they had people over there. What were they doing? Riding around on tanks and trucks with guns pointed at people, treating them like criminals. They called them refugees, like they were people immigrants from other countries. You know what I'm saying? They blew up those levees to get those people out. Look at New Orleans right now. Look at New Orleans right now. You know what? They haven't done anything. You know they're not doing anything. They're gonna drag that out as long as they can until they can start the gentrification process in the Ninth Ward, and they can do what they really want to do, is change the whole face of the lower Ninth in New Orleans. They wanted to get those people out of there. Like my grandfather said, they wanted to get them niggas out. And some people say that's the best thing that could have happened for some of them. You know, I mean, God knows my compassion in my heart is with each and every one of y'all, black, white, Hispanic, whoever was down there, because that was a tragic thing that happened. And God knows I'm with y'all. But maybe that's some of the best things that could have happened to some of them to get out of those conditions. Maybe, I don't know. I can't speak for that at all. I'm not in that position. But I will say this, man. And you don't have to take my word for it, but do your history. Look up 1927. Look up Hurricane Betsy in 1965 and see how they blew up those levees. And that's recorded and that's factual. And you can look that up. That happened. And being that what they did with 9/11, with the Twin Towers and the Pentagon and things like that. People say, why would they blow up the levees and try to get the people out? Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they do that? You understand? Look it up. Please look up the information. There's thousands of people that are on file. Go to YouTube that witnessed them come down on these helicopters, drop bombs onto this levee, had the barge hit the levee to breach it, let the water come in, flood it out, flood the people out. They're poor people. They're gonna have to relocate. They can't stay there. They're not gonna be able to come back and rebuild. They're not homeowners. A lot of them weren't. A lot of them were homeowners, but a lot of them weren't, and a lot of them didn't have the funds and the resources to come back and rebuild the way that they should. A lot have, you know. Gentrification, man. Look up gentrification. Look at the movie Boys in the Hood. You see Furious Styles talk about it, man. It's true, and it's happening all over the country. And this is a part of a bigger scheme for them to take their cities back. You know what I'm saying? Facelifts on the city. They use coded language. Learn the coded language. Learn the language they use. See this abandoned house next to me right here? Soon, things like this, they want things like this to be gone. And I agree with that. Abandoned buildings and things like that and neighborhoods should be gone. But at what cost? At what cost do you start lifting the face of a city? At what cost? To jack up the prices to get all the underprivileged and poor people out, so you can bring the money in? Is that a cost? Is that the cost that's worth, you know, the gentrification? I don't know. Y'all answer that question. But I'm gonna tell you this, man. Look it up. Look it up for yourself. Look up the facts. The federal government and the local government, I'm sure they played a part too. Hurricane Katrina. They blew up that levee. They brought that water in. They got those people out. And that's why you see limited reaction from everybody for all those days. People want to know, why didn't they do anything? Why didn't they do anything? Because they did it. They knew what they was doing, and they have no compassion for their fellow man. With that, you already know, Killah, do or die, man. Shout to Rob Real. Shout to the whole Forever Hood movement. We coming, baby. I know a lot of y'all can understand what we doing as far as this rap music and everything like that. But I'm gonna tell you like this, man. We coming, and we doing this for real. Holla back, Killah, do or die.